this video is about. She was his true mate, but the prophecy forbade their bond. If this story captivates you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. The night sky was a canvas of stars, each twinkling light whispering secrets of the ancient world. In the heart of the Silverwood forest, a gentle breeze stirred, carrying the scent of pine and earth. It was a night like no other, yet the air was thick with tension. Alara stood at the edge of the clearing, her heart racing. She could feel the pull of the moon, its silvery glow illuminating her delicate features. Her breath formed misty clouds in the cool air, her wolf stirred within her, eager to break free and run beneath the vast, open sky. But tonight was different tonight. Her heart was caught between realms, between duty and desire. Awe. A voice broke through her reverie, and she turned to see Kieran, the alpha of her pack, striding toward her with purpose. His golden eyes sparkled like molten sun, fierce yet warm. "Why are you out here alone?" "I'm just thinking," she replied, trying to mask the turmoil in her heart. Kieran stepped closer, his presence commanding yet comforting. "Thinking about what? The prophecy?" He always seemed to know her thoughts. A gift or a curse, she couldn't decide. She nodded slowly, feeling the weight of the ancient words that forewarned of a love that could shatter their world. "You know, it says that an alpha and omega from opposing packs shall never unite. Our love could bring ruin, Kieran." "Alara, you are my mate," he said, his voice low and fervent, the truth of his words lingering in the air. "Our bond is unbreakable, even if the stars conspire against us." "But what if we defy them?" she whispered, her voice trembling. "What if our love brings chaos, as the elders have warned?" Kieran cupped her face in his calloused hands, his gaze searching hers. "I would choose you, Alara, over any prophecy. You are my destiny. We can find a way." The sound of rustling leaves interrupted their moment, and both turned to see a shadowy figure emerging from the trees. It was Rowan, the fierce warrior and Kieran's best friend. "Alpha, we need to talk," he said, his tone urgent. Kieran's expression hardened. "Not now, Rowan." "Yes, now. There has been an incursion from the Crimson Moon Pack. It threatened our borders," Rowan explained, glancing at Alara with a mixture of concern and urgency. The mention of the Crimson Moon Pack sent shivers down Alara's spine. Their reputation for brutality was known throughout the lands. "We must prepare," she said, stepping away from Kieran's touch, feeling the weight of her responsibilities as a healer and omega. Kieran's gaze darkened. "You should stay back, Alara, this is dangerous." "I can just hide while my pack fights," she replied, her voice firm. "I can help, Kieran, you know I can." He clenched his jaw, the internal battle evident on his face. "You will do as I say. I can lose you, not now." Alara's heart cracked at his words. "You don't understand. I need to be part of this. If we are truly mates, then you should trust my strength." Their eyes locked, a silent battle of wills igniting between them. Kieran's brow furrowed, and she could see the storm of emotions raging behind his stoic exterior. "Fine," he said reluctantly. "But you will follow my orders if anything happens." "I'll be careful," she promised, though the fire in her heart urged her to defy caution. The trio made their way through the forest, the moonlight casting eerie shadows on the ground. A sense of dread loomed, thickening the air as they approached the border. Alara's heart raced at the thought of confrontation. She could sense the tension between the packs, a palpable energy swirling in the night. Suddenly, a howl echoed through the trees, sending a chill down her spine. It was an agonizing sound, one of pain and fury. Kieran's body tensed beside her, and Rowan moved forward, instinct taking over. "Stay close," Kieran instructed, his voice fierce as he led the way. Alara's instincts fled, her wolf eager to protect. The scent of blood wafted through the air, and she felt her heart drop. They stepped into a clearing, and her breath caught in her throat. In front of them, 2 members of the Crimson Moon Pack were poised to attack a wounded Silverwood warrior. Their snarls filled the night, and she felt the urge to intervene, to heal, but Kieran stepped in front of her. "Back away!" Kieran bellowed, asserting his authority as alpha. The Crimson Moon Wolves paused, their eyes flickering with challenge. "Look who we have here," one of them sneered, a dark-furred male with a wicked grin. The mighty Kieran, hiding behind a fragile omega, how pathetic. Alara's heart raced. The tension was thick enough to slice with the knife. She felt Kieran's muscles quivering, his wolf barely restrained. "Leave now, before I make you," he warned, his voice low and dangerous. But the Crimson Wolf stepped closer, undeterred. "You think you can protect her? You'll lose everything, Alpha. The prophecy foretells your demise." Alara's breath quickened as the words sunk deep. Could their love truly result in ruin? Kieran turned toward her, eyes blazing, and she saw the conflict etched into his features. Don't listen to them, he said fiercely, taking a step back toward her. We will find a way. Before she could respond, the fight erupted. Wolves lunged, the clash of fangs and claws resonating around them. Alara's instincts kicked in, and she rushed toward the wounded warrior, her heart pounding. Hold on, she shouted, kneeling beside him, her hands glowing softly with healing energy. Get back, Lara, Kieran shouted amid the chaos. But her wolf would not allow her to turn away. She pressed her palms to the warrior's side, feeling the warmth of life and the urgency of her gift. The pain was immense, but she focused, willing the light to flow through her fingers. Come on, she muttered, glancing back at Kieran, who fought fiercely against the intruders. The bond between them felt like a lifeline, tethering each moment of fear and uncertainty. Suddenly, a sharp gasp broke her concentration, and she looked up to see Kieran grappling with several wolves. Her heart surged with fear. He was outnumbered. Stay down, he barked, his voice strained. I told you to, but Alara couldn't. She surged forward, her energy igniting, casting a shimmering light that illuminated the dark clearing. The wolves hesitated, momentarily stunned by the sudden brightness. Get away from him, she cried, her voice rising, resonating with the power of her wolf. In that instant, Kieran's eyes met hers, and a spark ignited an unbreakable bond at work. He could feel her power surging through the air, wrapping around him like a protective embrace. With renewed strength, he fought back, his movements fluid and precise, as if the bond between them had unlocked a hidden fierceness. Together, we can do this, he shouted, rallying against their foes. As they fought side by side, Alara felt the weight of destiny pressing down upon them. The prophecy loomed like a dark cloud, but in that moment, their love shone brighter than any foretelling. But betrayal was lurking in the shadows, waiting to unfold, threatening to tear apart the very fabric of their bond. Alara's heart pounded as she pushed through the chaos, knowing that their fate was yet to be written. And as the moon hung overhead, she wondered if love was truly enough to conquer destiny, or if it would lead them to their ultimate ruin. In the heart of the Silverwood forest, the battle raged on, a cacophony of growls and snarls echoing through the night. Alara felt her heart pounding in rhythm with the chaos, the connection to Kieran igniting her very essence. Every breath he took, every victorious howl he released, fueled her determination as she fought alongside him. Stay close, Kieran shouted again, his command both fierce and protective. But Alara felt the fire within her, urging her to act, to heal, to protect her pack and the men she loved. She glanced over her shoulder to the wounded warrior, struggling to keep consciousness, and for a moment her heart ached. You'll be okay, she whispered. Just hold on. She returned to her work, hands glowing with healing energy, drawing strength from the earth and the moonlit sky. Suddenly, a brutal growl interrupted her concentration. A crimson moon wolf, larger and more menacing than the rest, lunged at Kieran, aiming for his throat. The air seemed to freeze as Alara's heart dropped. Time slowed as she watched her mate grapple with the beast, muscles straining, eyes fierce yet filled with a flicker of fear. Kieran, she cried, her voice breaking through the din of battle. The world around her faded, narrowed to just him. With a primal scream, she surged forward, feeling the wild energy of her wolf leap to life. In an explosion of light, she cast her energy toward Kieran, enveloping him in a cocoon of warmth that fueled his strength. He turned to her, eyes wide with surprise and gratitude, momentarily forgetting the wolf attacking him. Together, he shouted, his voice imbued with fierce resolve. The bond between them surged, a mystical tether uniting their spirits. They moved as one, Kieran's muscles tense with her strength, and the amalgamation of the power sent shockwaves through the clearing. With a swift motion, Kieran dodged a lethal bite, twisting the crimson wolf's neck with a fluid motion. The beast collapsed, snarling in defeat, and Kieran's golden eyes turned back to Alara. You did that, he said, breathless, admiration shining in his gaze. But before she could respond, the battle reached on. Rowan was at her side, his expression fierce, but his brow furrowed with concern. You need to stay back, Alara, this isn't your fight. Every fight is my fight, she retorted, her voice steadier than she felt. I am not hiding while my pack fights for survival. Damn it, Alara. Rowan growled, frustration spilling over. You read too important to risk, the prophecy. The prophecy, she snapped, cutting him off. Isn't he everything? It is our choice to defy it. Rowan's gaze softened, conflicting emotions swirling in his dark eyes. Alara, this isn't just about you and Kieran, it's about your pack's future. Then let me fight for it, she pleaded, desperation rising within her. I love him. I love you all. I will not stand idly by, not when I can help. With a heavy sigh, Rowan stepped back, respecting her fierce spirit. Fine, but stay behind me. Kieran, now aware of their exchange, shot Ron a fierce look. She is not a liability, Ron, she is my mate. We fight together. The words hung in the air, and Alara felt pride bloom within her. But the darkness of the Crimson Moon Pack still loomed. More wolves emerged from the shadows, their eyes glinting with malice, and the tide of battle shifted again. Alara felt the energy within her falter for a moment, doubt creeping in. Could they truly overcome the prophecy, the fate that had been written for them? She reached for Kieran, intertwining her fingers with his, grounding herself in their shared bond. "We can do this," she whispered, staring into the depths of his fierce gaze. He nodded, determination etched into his features. "Always." But just as they prepared for another wave of conflict, a piercing howl echoed from the depths of the forest, a sound unlike any they had heard before. It reverberated through the trees, striking fear into the hearts of even the bravest warriors. "What was that?" Ron whispered, eyes wide with concern. "It can't be good," Kieran replied, his jaw tightening as he scanned the tree line. "We need to finish this quickly." The Crimson Wolves, sensing the shift in the air, hesitated, unsure of how to proceed. Alara felt the weight of the moment pressed down on her, a whisper of destiny curling around her heart. The prophecy had warned of a dark force, a harbinger of chaos that would emerge if their bond was formed. "We need to draw them back," Kieran commanded, his voice steady. "We'll lure them to the river. It is a better ground for us." Alara's heart raced at the thought of retreating, but she trusted Kieran's instincts. "Let us go," she shouted, rallying the Silverwood warriors. As they moved, the howls grew louder, echoing ominously across the forest. Shadows shifted around them, and Alara sensed a darker presence lurking just beyond their reach. They reached the riverbank, its waters glistening under the moonlight, but the urgency in the air was palpable. Suddenly, a massive figure burst through the trees, a monstrous wolf, larger than any they had seen, its fur a deep crimson that glimmered like embers. The air grew cold as it locked eyes with Kieran, an unsettling smirk curling its lips. "Alpha Kieran," it sneered, voice dripping with malice. "You were brave to stand here, knowing your bond with that Omega will lead to your doom." Kieran stepped forward, unwavering. "Get out of our territory, Crimson Moon. We have no quarrel with you." The massive wolf laughed, the sound echoing through the night. "Oh, but you do. Your little mate will ignite a war greater than you can imagine. The prophecy will come to pass." Alara felt the weight of its words, fear gripping her heart. "What do you mean?" she asked, voice trembling. The wolf's eyes darkened, its expression predatory. "The blood of the true mate will awaken an ancient power, one that will consume all. You've sealed your fate by choosing each other." Kieran's stance hardened, his wolf roaring within him. "We will not be afraid of your threats." Then let the chaos begin. The Crimson Wolf howled, and the air between them crackled with dark energy. In that moment, Alara felt the pull of her bond with Kieran stronger than ever. She could feel the power between them raw and unyielding. "Kieran," she shouted, raising her hands, her energy surging in response to the threat. Together, they unleashed their combined power. A radiant light erupted from their bond, blinding the grasping shadows around them. The ground trembled, and the Crimson Wolf staggered back, snarling in fury. "This isn't over," it roared, retreating into the darkness, but the tension lingered in the air, a reminder of the battle that lay ahead. Kieran turned to Alara, panting, eyes ablaze with determination. "We can't let fear dictate our lives, Alara. Together, we can write our fate." Her heart soared at his words, but the weight of the prophecy still loomed. "But what if it is true? What if our love is the key to destruction?" Kieran stepped closer, cupping her face in his hands, his gaze softening. "Then we'll face it together, no matter the cost, no matter what it takes. You are my mate, my future. I refuse to let anything tear us apart." Tears spilled down Alara's cheeks as she nodded, overwhelmed by the depth of their bond. "I trust you, Kieran, always." And as they stood together, the moon shining brightly above them, they knew that love, against all odds, would guide them through. With a fierce determination ignited in their hearts, they would confront the darkness looming over them, ready to defy destiny itself. But little did they know, betrayal lurked within their own pack, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, threatening to shatter their world before they could claim their love. The moon hung high above the Silverwood forest, illuminating the aftermath of the battle with a ghostly light. Alara and Kieran stood side by side, breaths mingling with the crisp night air. The echoes of growls and the scent of blood still lingered, heavy and unsettling. Alara wrapped her arms around herself, feeling the chill seep into her bones. "Do you think they'll come back?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Kieran's jaw tightened as he scanned the tree line, his golden eyes fierce. They will, they always do. He turned to her, his expression softening. But we'll be ready, we have to be. Alara looked away, her heart heavy with the weight of his words. Is this really how it's meant to be, fighting for our love, for our pack, against a prophecy that threatens to tear us apart? Kieran stepped closer, the warmth of his body igniting a spark within her. Alara, love is worth fighting for. You are worth fighting for. We will find a way. She searched his eyes, the fierce determination igniting a flicker of hope in her heart. But what if it leads to ruin? This prophecy that dark wolf said our bond would awaken something terrible. Could he be right? Nothing can touch us if we stand together. He reached for her hand, intertwining his fingers with hers, grounding her amidst the chaos within. We'll face whatever darkness comes together. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps broke the silence, drawing their attention. Rowan emerged from the shadows, his face set with grim determination. We need to talk now. Kieran's protective instincts flared. What is it, Rowan? Rowan took a breath, his brow furrowed with concern. There are whispers among the pack. Some question your leadership, Kieran. They fear the prophecy and what it means for us. Alara's heart sank. But we fought for them. They saw the power we wield together. Rowan hesitated, his gaze flickering between them. They see the danger in that power. Some believe it is better to distance you two, to avoid the risk of awakening whatever lies dormant. A distance. Kieran's voice was low, simmering with barely contained fury. They would abandon our bond for fear, for a prophecy? It is not just fear, it is survival, Rowan countered. They want to protect what we have, even if it means sacrificing your bond with Alara. No. Kieran's voice was firm, resolute. The Alara is my mate. I won't let anyone dictate my choices or my heart. If they choose to turn against us, they'll have to face me. Rowan's expression shifted, revealing a flicker of understanding. He noted it's not just about you, it is about the pack's future. They re-scared Kieran, and when fear takes over, it breeds chaos. What do you propose we do? Alara asked, her heart pounding as the weight of the situation settled over them. We must unite the pack, show them the strength of our bond. Rowan replied, determination lacing his words. But it won't be easy, some will resist. Kieran's eyes narrowed, contemplating the weight of Rowan's suggestion. Then we'll confront this together. We'll remind them of the power we hold as a pack, how united we are. Our love can be a force for good. Alara squeezed Kieran's hand, feeling a surge of hope at his words. Let them see what we can achieve together, not just as individuals, but as a united front. Rowan nodded, albeit reluctantly. If we were going to do this, we must act quickly. The Crimson Moon Pack won't rest until they've destroyed us. We need our pack behind us before then. If they can see the strength and love, Kieran said, voice steady, then they are not worthy of being my pack. We'll prove them wrong. The three of them stood in silence, the enormity of their challenge hanging in the air. Alara felt fear prickling at her heart, but Kieran's fierce gaze anchored her, reminding her of the power of their bond. Together, they made their way back to the heart of the Silverwood Pack. The flickering lights of the campfire illuminated the faces of their fellow wolves, uncertainty etched into many of them. Some whispered among themselves, casting furtive glances in Alara and Kieran's direction. As they approached, Kieran stepped forward, commanding attention. Listen. His powerful voice resonated through the clearing, silencing the murmurs. I know many of you are afraid. The prophecy hangs over us like a storm cloud. Alara's heart raced as he continued, his passion igniting the air around them. But fear will not guide our choices. I stand here, ready to fight not just for Alara, but for every one of you. Love is our greatest strength, not our weakness. A murmur rippled through the crowd, uncertainty lingering in the air. Kieran, a voice broke through, a middle-aged wolf named Lyra. What if you were wrong? What if the spawn brings about our doom? Kieran's gaze didn't falter. Then let it come, but I will not let fear dictate my heart. Alara is my true mate, and together we possess a power that can protect this pack. Alara felt her heart swell as she looked at Kieran. He was fighting for not just their love, but for her place among them. It is our choice, she added, stepping forward. We can defy the prophecy. Together, we can create a future beyond fear. The crowd shifted, voices rising in a mix of concern and curiosity. But what if it awakens the darkness? Another wolf called out, skepticism lacing his words. Then we will face it together. Kieran replied, his voice unwavering. United, we are stronger than any prophecy. We can write our fate. Alara felt the tension in the air shift, hope beginning to bloom as she watched her pack's expressions change. Some began to nod, others murmured in agreement. The power of their bond seemed to resonate within the very fabric of the night. Rowan stepped forward, a fierce resolve in his eyes. This pack has faced darkness before and emerged stronger. We can do it again. We stand as one, or we fall divided. Alara saw as she saw the spark of unity igniting among them. She felt Kieran's grip tighten around her hand, grounding her in the moment. We will not shy away from what lies ahead, she declared, her voice filled with emotion. We will be the light that defeats the darkness. One by one, the wolves began to raise their heads, a sense of resolve washing over them. Together, they echoed, voices rising in unison, drowning out the whispers of fear. Sensing the shift, Kieran's expression softened, pride swelling within him. Then let us prepare. We have battles ahead, and we will face them together. As the night wore on, plans were made, and the pack rallied behind Kieran and Alara. By dawn, the Silverwood pack stood united, ready to face whatever darkness loomed ahead. But unknown to them, betrayal still lurked within the shadows, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. As the final preparations were made, one wolf watched with narrowed eyes, intentions veiled behind a mask of loyalty. Alara's heart raced with determination, but an unsettling feeling tugged at her instincts. Kieran, she whispered, her voice laced with concern. Something feels off. He turned to her, brows furrowed. What do you mean? I can shake the feeling that someone among us doesn't share our vision. Tears welled in her eyes, the weight of doubt creeping in. What if they betray us when the time comes? Then we all stand together against them, Kieran replied, wiping her tears with gentle fingers. No matter who it is, our bond is stronger than any betrayal. As Alara took a deep breath, she felt both fear and strength surging within her. In that moment, she realized the true battle lay not just against the Crimson Moon Pack, but within her own. The sun rose, casting golden rays over the Silverwood forest, illuminating the path that lay ahead. As they prepared to face the challenges that awaited them, Alara knew they were not just fighting for their love, but for the very fabric of their destinies. With Kieran by her side, their journey would be marked by trials, betrayal, and undeniable love, a love strong enough to conquer the prophecy that had sought to tear them apart. And in the depths of her heart, Alara whispered a silent promise to the stars. They would fight for love, no matter the cost. The dawn painted the Silverwood forest in hues of gold and emerald, yet beneath the radiant beauty lay an undercurrent of unease. Alara stood with Kieran, her heart both buoyant and heavy, a delicate balance of hope and dread swirling within her. We all meet at the riverbank, Kieran said, his voice steady but edged with tension. The Crimson Moon Pack will strike again. We need to be prepared. Alara nodded, her pulse quickening at the thought of their impending confrontation. But what if they come in greater numbers? We saw how easily they overwhelmed us last time. His gaze softened, and he placed a hand on the small of her back, drawing her closer. We all outsmart them. We have each other, and our bond makes us stronger, remember that. The warmth of his touch ignited a spark within her, a flicker of courage emerging from the depths of her soul. You were right, together we can face anything. But as they turned towards the heart of the pack, unease lingered like a shadow at the edge of her mind. Stay vigilant, Alara. Kieran's voice was a blend of authority and unyielding affection. We can't afford to let our guard down. As they approached the gathering of their pack, the tension in the air was palpable. Many wolves stood in small clusters, their expressions etched with uncertainty, apprehensive murmurs dancing through the crowd like whispers of an approaching storm. Rowan stepped forward, his presence commanding. Listen up, he called, silencing the scattered conversations. We need to strategize. The Crimson Moon is planning something, and if we were not ready, it could spell disaster. Alara felt her heart race as she glanced at Kieran, whose eyes flickered with determination. We need to unify our strengths. This is about survival, and we cannot let fear divide us, he added, stepping beside Rowan to address their pack. A voice rose from the crowd, one tinged with skepticism. But what if our bond awakens the darkness the prophecy warned us of? What if it leads us to our doom? The question hung heavy in the air, the weight of doubt creeping back into Alara's heart. We can't let fear dictate our actions, Kieran replied, his voice unwavering. Alara and I will face whatever comes. Our love has the power to protect this pack. Alara took a deep breath, drawing strength from Kieran's fierce resolve. Love isn't just a bond, it is a force that can shape destinies. We will fight together, stronger than any prophecy. The crowd began to murmur, uncertainty giving way to flickers of hope. Alara felt the pulse of their connection, a mystical energy that wove through her very being. We cannot let fear tear us apart, she shouted, her voice rising above the murmurs. Let us show the world what our love can do. For a moment there was silence, and then Ron stepped forward, his expression resolute. If we stand united, we can face any threat, but we must be prepared for anything, including betrayal from within our ranks. Alara's heart raced at the mention of betrayal. Kieran locked eyes with her, the unspoken understanding passing between them. We will overcome any treachery together, he vowed, his golden gaze fierce and unwavering. But as they began to strategize, Alara's instincts tingled, a sense of unease gnawing at her heart. She couldn't shake the feeling that someone among them was harboring darkness, a presence lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. As preparations began, Alara glanced around, scanning the faces of her pack. Most were filled with determination, but among them she caught sight of a figure lingering at the edge, a wolf with an inscrutable expression. His name was Calder, once a trusted member of Silverwood, but now he seemed to harbor resentment. "Something's not right," she whispered to Kieran, her anxiety rising. "I can feel it in my gut. Calder, he is hiding something." Kieran's brow furrowed, concern etched across his face. "Stay close to me. If he poses a threat, we'll deal with it together." The day passed in a blur of preparations and strategizing, the pack coming together as one. But as night descended, the air grew thick with tension, and Alara's anxiety heightened. She glanced at Kieran, who stood resolute, but the flicker of worry in his eyes mirrored her own. "Are you ready?" he asked, his voice low and steady as they stood at the riverbank, the moon illuminating their path. Alara nodded, her heart pounding. "I am with you always." The night air crackled with anticipation as the pack gathered, their hearts unified in purpose. But as they prepared for battle, the shadows of the forest shifted, and a chilling howl echoed through the trees, sending shivers down Alara's spine. "They've come," Kieran growled, his muscles tensing as he turned to face the oncoming threat. Out of the darkness, the Crimson Moon pack emerged, their eyes glinting with malice. At the forefront stood the massive wolf from their earlier encounter, its crimson fur glowing ominously in the moonlight. "You brave to stand against us, Alpha Kieran," the wolf sneered, voice dripping with contempt. "But your bond with that Omega will lead to your destruction." Kieran stepped forward, defiance burning in his eyes. "Leave our territory. We want no conflict with you." "Conflict has already been forged," the Crimson Wolf retorted, a sinister smile curling its lips. "And you will witness your bond unravel before your very eyes." Alara's heart raced as she felt the weight of the prophecy pressing down around her. "Kieran, we can't let them divide us. Our love is stronger. Together." Kieran roared, his voice echoing through the darkness. "We will not falter." The battle erupted like a storm, wolves clashing in a frenzy of fur, fangs, and primal instinct. Alara felt her wolf awaken, fierce and ready to fight. She unleashed her energy, sending waves of light into the fray, illuminating the chaos around her. "Kieran," she shouted, searching for him through the chaos. "Stay with me." But as the battle raged on, Alara sensed a shift, a dark presence weaving through the chaos, subtly orchestrating the turmoil. Her instincts screamed, and she began to weave through the fighting bodies, searching for the source. Suddenly, she spotted Calder, lurking at the edges, his eyes narrowed with malicious intent. He was watching Kieran, a twisted smile on his face, as if waiting to strike. "Aura!" Kieran's voice called out, filled with urgency. "It back." But it was too late. Calder lunged, targeting Kieran's vulnerable side, and Alara felt a surge of terror. "No," she screamed, rushing forward, her heart racing as she reached for her mate. In that instant, the world around her blurred. She focused on the bond they shared, her energy surging, illuminating the darkness surrounding them. "Kieran," she cried, channeling her power, willing the light to protect him. Kieran turned just in time, his eyes widening as Alara's energy enveloped him, granting him strength. He twisted away from Calder's strike, and Alara felt their bond ignite, a fire burning through the chaos. "Together!" Kieran shouted, and they moved as one, a force of nature against the encroaching darkness. As they fought side by side, Calder's fury boiled over. "You think love can save you? It will only lead to your demise." He lunged again, but Kieran intercepted him, their wolves clashing in a tempest of rage and power. Alara felt the energy between her and Kieran pulsating, a beacon of hope amidst the turmoil. "We can let him win," she cried, summoning every ounce of strength within her. Kieran's growl resonated deep within her, a fierce promise. "We will not lose this fight." Together, they unleashed their combined energy, a blinding light erupting from their bond. The force of it surged through the clearing, pushing back the darkness, illuminating the faces of their pack. With renewed strength, Kieran tackled Calder, the two of them wrestling amidst the chaos, the other Crimson Wolves retreating in fear of the raw power unleashed. The ground trembled beneath them as their energy clashed, a storm of love and destiny unfurling. Alara felt the warmth of the connection pulsating in her veins, and she pushed forward, channeling her energy into Kieran. Together, we were unstoppable, she shouted, determination driving her words. With a final surge of power, Kieran pinned Calder to the ground, the Crimson Wolf growling in defeat. You have no power over us, Kieran declared, his voice steady, the strength of their bond radiating through him. As the remaining Crimson Moon warriors scattered, Alara felt a wave of relief wash over her. But as Kieran released Calder, a chilling whisper of doubt lingered in the air. Amidst the aftermath of the battle, Alara rushed to Kieran's side, her heart pounding. We did it, we stood together. But Kieran's brow furrowed, concern etched into his features.